Hi, Petra and Monique. Oh, you can hear me okay, can't you? Just checking my microphone this time. Make sure I'm not just talking to myself. Hi, Petra. Okay, that's going live. Alrighty. Oh, somebody's got their hand raised already. Right, okie dokie. It freaks me out when I see Lou M because I think it's me. It's like, oh, I'm talking to myself. Right then, okie doke, let's make a start. Oh, press record. That would be good. Okay. So, hello and welcome everybody to this nearly last call of season 12 of the Mundane to Magical Online Summit. My name is Louise Matson, and as always, I'm truly blessed to be your host. We're coming to the end of this season. Time really flies by when I'm in the middle of these summits. And we just have Nora Walks in Spirits live call, which has now been rescheduled to Wednesday. So Wednesday, the 16th of October at 10 o'clock PST in the morning, 1 p.m. EST and 6 p.m. BST. For me, it's been another wonderful summit with some very special speakers sharing their unique gifts and wisdom transmissions. And I hope you've all enjoyed it as much as I have. Um, I'm not the first hand raised this time. No, somebody beat you to it. I will be taking questions and if you have any. But for those who don't know me, my name is Louise Matson and I'm a conscious channel, a conduit for energy healing, a shamanic practitioner, a way shower and spiritual mentor and guide. And I channel only the highest vibrational beings of pure source field, love and light, sharing the messages as they come through. My mission and purpose is to guide and assist people along their path from disempowerment to standing in their sovereignty so that we can all radiate our light openly to the world, living from our authentic, soulful selves. My aim is to empower people to understand who they truly are as sovereign creator beings and realign to their life purpose and true potential. Now, I never really know what spirit wants to bring through during these live calls. And although I got the topic title and a bit of a breakdown, I didn't get the full transmission until earlier today. So the topic for today's show is overcoming overwhelm, riding these crazy energetic waves. And as always, the topics of this summit flow together seamlessly, even though I don't have themed summits as such. It's just always beautifully aligned that it works out that way. And this season is no different. Now, as I've just said, please feel free to ask any questions throughout the call using the chat box or the Q&A on Zoom, or raise your hand if you want to come and ask the question live. And I'll answer as many of those questions as I can as we go along. But for now, one thing I will say is normally I don't manage to see on YouTube, but I have got it muted and on the screen. So if people are putting comments on the YouTube live stream, I will try to keep an eye on that, but I'm kind of multitasking in a 3 or 4-way spread at the minute, so bear with me. You guess it, yeah, depending on who shows up, who gets their hand up first. Okay, let's get started. So it was with great pleasure and honor that I shared the messages and wisdom that Source has brought through to share with you at this time. And Spirit's been guiding me to share the importance of getting back to basics in terms of recognizing and understanding ourselves as beings who exist within all realms, the seen and the unseen. And this is what led to what is my offering for this season, a 4-part webinar series, going into doing some healings and clearings and really looking at being able to kind of be master of our multidimensional self, and really getting back to the basics on ensuring that we are secure and sound within our own field of consciousness. That is one of the offers. I'm also offering a discounted one-to-one session as well. So if you are interested in any of those, I'll speak to them again at the end, but you can find the details on the free gifts page. So on the webinars, I'll take you through the different aspects of energy management and mastery of your own field of consciousness so that you're able to fully connect with your truth, ridding your field of any energetic clutter and grounding into the higher timelines, releasing yourself from all of those lower attachments that are no longer serving you or have been attached for whatever reason and have never really been serving you. And enabling you all to come into your own center of being, being yourself as the divine energetic being that you are. So Spirit is saying at this time, it's really essential to be aware of your own truth in order to discern what is the right path for you to take in any moment, and to assist you to navigate the immense influx of energy bombarding us each day, and to really remain centered and grounded within your own truth. And you might say, well, what is my truth? Well, the only way that we can really connect in with that is by coming out of our heads and dropping down into our heart and connecting into our own higher mind. The brain mind is the one that is linked to all the programming and training that we've undergone since our incarnation, and is very much linked to the personality construct, the egoic aspect. Whereas the divine mind, the higher mind, which is the gateways in the heart, is linked to the all that we are, the higher vibrational aspects of our own being. And it's not that you have to be a channel. I had the gift of coming in as a channel in early childhood. You don't have to be a channel to do that. This is about connecting in with yourself. And actually, one thing that they're wanting me to share is that channeling in and of itself is talking to yourself. And it doesn't matter whether you're connecting in with the dragons or the fairies or Archangel Michael or any of the other gods, goddesses, deities, or galactics, high vibrational beings, pillars of light. It doesn't matter who and what you're connecting into. They are all representations of you. That those aspects of you that exist beyond the incarnated field that we see and know as our auric field, and see and know ourselves as in this incarnation. Oh, you meant because each one of us brings our own particular vibration? Absolutely. Yes, yes. We truly are living through incredible and profound times in humanity's histories. And it's always funny to think of that because, when we look back through our histories, at some point somebody was living that as their day-to-day reality. And that's where we are now. I mean, we're all that in each moment, but the energies of these times really are immense. And we are in that middle ground of an immense shift in consciousness, in vibration, in reality, on this planetary consciousness that we call Earth. And in these moments when we're being buffeted in the flow, however we're experiencing these energies, it's really easy to become overwhelmed. And I know a number of people who have been experiencing that sense of overwhelm, and it is showing up for them in many different ways in their physical experience. But it's so easy to become overwhelmed when we're being bombarded by such strong energies in such rapid succession. I mean, just looking at the astrology alone, I've never known a time before the last kind of 4 years where we've had such incredible transitions and conjunctions and all kinds of things going off, and it's just one after the other after the other after the other. Absolutely crazy. But it's all for a reason. It's all to assist us to shift. How do we find joy? That's a good question. Coming back to the fundamentals of who we are love and light. We are those frequencies. We are the frequencies of love. We are the frequencies of joy. We are the frequencies of peace. We are the frequencies of freedom. But those freedoms and those frequencies uh, in the higher echelons of vibration have been unable to be fully expressed and appreciated and experienced because of everything else that's been going on. Spirit's shown to me there has been as if like a dome had been placed upon the collective consciousness that incarnated on the planet. And and within that there were many control structures and manipulation structures, and it was kind of, holding us in, suppressing us, compressing us, and maintaining a much lower frequency, so not enabling us to connect in with our highest aspects of self, and as such created many situations that held the frequencies low, like wars and conflict, things like slavery and those kind of physical experiences of the low vibrations. So that was all kind of deliberately done to keep us low, because when we fully connect into our multidimensional aspects, and the truth of who we are as divine created beings, we're capable of manifesting absolutely anything, and we're capable of really shifting the collective into a higher state of consciousness. And so the last thing that, as it were, the control structure, then I say that in terms of everything is perfect and everything is in perfect timing. So if you wanted to think that we, as the all that we are and as the all that is, wanted to experience certain things, then it created that scenario for that experience to be able to be had. So we've now come through that time, and we're stepping into a different time. And it's coming back up again to step into a more enlightened time. And that's where we're in this window, this kind of no man's land in the middle, where we're walking between a number of worlds. And nothing has really fully cemented in of the new timeline and new templates. But where we find joy is by connecting into ourselves, not looking outside of ourselves. There is nothing out there that we require. It's all in here. And coming to peace within ourselves and asking ourselves the question, what does joy look like in this moment for me? What does love look like in this moment for me? And really dialing back the clock sometimes to, when we were children, when we were more connected to our truth, before we got caught up in the hamster wheel of the daily grind, and and basically were fueling the system. Um, what what gave us joy then? What looked like joy to us then? Now, for me personally, I've got two dogs. They give me an immense amount of joy just being in their company and seeing the pure expression of spirit through them. But also going in nature and connecting in with nature brings me joy. Painting brings me joy. So it's important to find whatever brings you joy, and that comes from allowing all the clutter to go, allowing all of the ideas and ideology and concepts of other people about what joy is to leave your field, and go within and find, okay, now that all this clutter is gone, I can actually tune into me in this individualized form, and find out what I actually like. There was a time, I've lived my life for other people for the vast majority of my physical experience, and that's been my journey, one of disempowerment to come into empowerment and sovereignty. And it wasn't until my dad died, where I kind of hit a dark night of the soul, because I realized I'd lived my life so much for other people in how I looked, how I dressed, the job I did, just everything. that I didn't actually know who I was. And that's, a big part of this journey. It can be quite discombobulating because you're kind of letting go, letting go, letting go of so much. And it's like, but I haven't got anything to kind of anchor into yet. And you're in this kind of searching field. But as we clear and let go and allow ourselves to become that blank sheet of paper, that's when our soul starts writing on it and it starts guiding us into who we are at our core, who we are at our blueprint. And so I would constantly ask myself questions. What's my favorite color? What food do I like to eat? Really simple things, because I'd literally got to that point where I didn't know who I was. I knew who my mum and dad wanted me to be. I knew who my partner wanted me to be. I knew who work expected me to be. All of these other people in my life, I knew exactly how to please them, but I didn't know what fulfilled me. And that's a really key starting point, because we didn't come here to we didn't come here to give everything away to everybody else. We didn't come here. That's a distorted service to others program. We didn't come here to live in misery. We came here to experience life. We came here to experience joy in physical form. One of the things that's really assisted me is when we are the all that is, when we're not in an incarnated form, because the big question for me was, why would I choose to come down here? This is a huge mistake. The energy is so dense. What am I doing here? We chose this because we get the physical experience of things that are just concepts when we're in a state of consciousness. When we're in the state of pure consciousness, it's easy to know everything, but it's not the same as living through it, as physically experiencing it through our physical feedback systems. And that's the beauty of incarnation. It can also be the pain of incarnation, but it's all about how we perceive things. So that's what we came here for. We came here to be the all that we are, and that includes the physical aspect of us. But being the all that we are means the physical aspect being in alignment with the highest vibrational aspect of who we are. It is so important that we find joy, absolutely, in everything. And you can find joy in the most simplest things. We've had some glorious sunsets, and I find joy in color and texture. So I can find joy in nature just by seeing an amazing shade of gold and yellow in a sunset, or crimson pink. I can find joy in the texture of a rock, or the fact that some of the rocks around here looks like they've got sparkles of diamonds and gold in. I mean, when the sunlight hits some of the rocks around here, it's incredible. But there's so many ways that we can find joy, even when we feel like we're in the depths. But sometimes when we're in those depths, it's hard to see the wood for the trees. And that's why when we connect in, we reduce as much clutter as we can, and we connect into our heart field. We get that 10,000-foot view. We enable ourselves to get that distance so that we can see beyond what is actually going on in this really blinkered view. Sunshine on our faces, birds singing, smiles, children smiling, leaves falling. Yes, it's finding that deep joy. Michaela says, I was remembering the other day when I got caught in a downpour of rain, I was remembering when I found new things exciting, and I'm currently intending to find my way back there. To be curious rather than discombobulated. Absolutely. Curiosity is an important aspect of the journey, especially when we're being triggered. Because it takes you into that 10,000-foot view. Instead of being the victim to what's going on, you suddenly go, oh, that's interesting. I'm now becoming the observer, and I'm now starting to go, oh, I'm Dora the Explorer, and I'm going to kind of deep dive into what's triggered me, or, look at this situation from that perspective of childlike curiosity and wonder, as opposed to, kind of getting caught up in the mire of something. Janie says, yes, allowing all the clutter to go, allowing all the concepts of other people, of what creates joy to go. Absolutely. Okay, so we have been bombarded and in such a rapid succession that it can feel overwhelming. But we are at this time not only being called to navigate these incredible galactic energies with the various momentous planetary transits and solar activity, but we're also navigating the collective shifts and the outpourings of information and emotions. And that's a huge thing at this time as well. Um, I think one of the key things is having the awareness, anybody who's kind of tuning into a conversation like this or anything similar, is that the majority of people have absolutely no idea that we are energy beings and have absolutely no control of what they're radiating out into the collective field. And, when we collectively go through on an individual personal level and from a collective space, sort of tragic, traumatic experiences, then that just gets thrown out into the field. And that in and of itself can be incredibly overwhelming, especially to people who are very sensitive and people who are called empaths. And so that's why it's incredibly important that you hold that awareness and you hold your boundaries strong. This journey, this transit through this lived experience is about coming into the beauty of individualization. Again, when we're out of incarnation, we're in the collective space, we're pure consciousness, and we're part of the all that is. But when we come into this physical form, we're coming into individualization. And so the paradox is, to get to unity consciousness, we have to master this individualized space. And that's where connecting in with your truth is so important. This time, we are experiencing something that is predestined. But it's also something that we've all been calling in for a very long time. This dismantling of the old world, the old way of being, the old paradigm, and bringing in the incoming of those new earth templates, which actually are already here because of all the work that's gone before us and all the work that, many people in these kind of forums have undertaken. So we're really having to manage energies in a bifurcated space where we're experiencing, bits of the old template, the old world, which we're energetically connected and grounded into through our physical form at the minute, and through, the training and programming that we've all gone through from childhood. And there's no judgment on that. It is what it is, and it's been what it's been. And we're also connecting into and we've got one foot in the old paradigm, we've got one foot in the new, the new templates, new earth templates. And we as conscious beings and light workers, we're calling those templates into being. But at the minute, it kind of feels like we're in this no man's land. We're in this kind of space between worlds. And as I mentioned before, these are also the templates that are predestined. So, Pluto's having a transit, and Pluto's transits are 250 years. So Pluto is moving into a completely different sign, bringing in a whole set of vibrations and frequencies for us to master. The last 250 years, we've been experiencing and living through the Capricorn energies, and we're moving into Aquarius. So that in itself is a predestined moment for us to live through, to move through, and to work with. But it's not about kind of feeling, oh, this is something huge and it's happening to us. We've chosen to be here at this time. And so it's about enjoying the ride. And it is a crazy ride. It sometimes feels like a roller coaster, but it's about, people choose to get on a roller coaster and a fun fair. It's about enjoying the ride. And we chose to be here at this time. We bought our ticket, we queued up for hours and hours, and then we've managed to grab our seat on the roller coaster and we're on it. So it's like, okay, here we go, enjoy it. And that's where that joy comes in, finding joy in those moments, finding joy in every moment. If I can't find joy, ask, I wonder what joy feels like. Yeah, absolutely. What does joy feel like for me? Because remember, channeling is you talking to yourself. Now, you throwing things out there like these questions. What does joy look like to me? What does joy feel like to me? Your universal self, that wider aspect of who you are beyond the incarnated space, is listening. It knows that you're asking that question. You're putting that question out into the multiverse, and you will get a response. The tricky part for most people is recognizing the responses that they receive. So, people think, oh, I can't channel, I can't connect in. If they're not getting like a verbal message, they're not hearing something being replied to them in an instant, or, they're not having an image appear before their eyes, as it were. But when we're starting off, it doesn't work like that. We are receiving messages and guidance all the time from our universal self. And it's allowing ourselves to kind of tune in and recognize those messages. Um, and that starts with recognizing that we are receiving messages all the time. My ability to see and hear has developed over time because when I was a child, I was threatened with being locked up for being mad by my mother. And I shut all of that stuff down. Anything that looked like it showed any signs of madness, I wouldn't go anywhere near. So for me, I was claircognizant. And so I developed my claircognizance. So that's just the deep sense of knowing. And so again, when we're channeling and we're receiving messages, it can look in very, very many different ways. But I've had messages come through by being guided to watch a particular film, and then one word, one sentence in the whole film just really struck me. Or, I've been asking a question, I've been thinking about something, and then, I see on a billboard 3 times in a row, just do it, just do it, just do it, the Nike slogan. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I've got the message. Um, a month or so ago, when I was in a bit of a dip and I was kind of like throwing my hands up to the air, going, what the hell am I here for? You've got to give me a blazing sign, to tell me that what I'm doing is worth something. And out of absolutely nowhere, a bat flew past my face. And so I asked the question again. It did exactly the same thing 3 times. So again, it's knowing that our universal self is talking. The thing that we have to learn in a way or re-educate ourselves is, what language is it talking in? Is it showing me stuff? Um, is it these synchronistic events? Is it that I'm guided to read a book or watch a film, and suddenly there's just this passage that really hits me. And again, it's playing with it. It's not feeling like, oh, I'm a failure because I'm not hearing this voice or I'm not getting this word for word verbatim answer. It's receiving a dream and going, oh, that's interesting. Okay, what would that mean for me? What does that mean? What do I feel like when I connect into that? And the more we practice, that's why I call it spiritual practice, the more we practice this, talking with ourselves, getting to know ourselves, becoming our own best friends in a way, and really establishing that good relationship with ourselves, that the messages come clearer and easier. So for me now, I can have a conversation. And for me, usually it's when I'm driving or when I'm walking the dogs or I'm washing up or cleaning the bathroom. Just really basic jobs that I'm not mentally involved in. That's not to say that I'm a danger on the road, by the way. Um, but I'm able to just channel in those moments. But I've been doing this my whole life. So, if it's something that feels new to you, just, playing with it and finding your way through it, finding your way into connecting. But it's a hell of a lot easier when your field isn't cluttered with the energies of a million other people, because their voices are shouting louder than your soul's voice at the minute. So, as souls, we have chosen to be here at this incredible time, but our egoic aspect really can struggle to navigate these dual and very different templates. And this is what adds to the overwhelm, um, because of what's being asked of them. So it's even more essential now than ever that we become masters of our own multidimensional field of consciousness, and that we really get to know ourselves as the multidimensional beings that we are, and that we're experiencing this landscape, this physical landscape on all levels at all times. And so kind of allowing your spidey senses, as it were, to kind of open up and expand out so that you're connecting in with the unseen aspects of the physical world around us and the unseen aspects of your incarnated form as well. It's really essential that we come into our truth, our power, and our sovereignty, so that the choices that we're making whilst walking in this between world state are in our greatest and highest good and are aligned to the all that we are and not to someone else's truth and path. It's really easy to get caught up in other people's stories and journeys and dramas, because this is how we've been trained to live. You know, our focus has been outside of ourselves. Our focus has been on other people, you know, making our parents feel happy and proud of us, making our teachers proud of us. You know, it's giving to another person's expectation and needs and wants. That's how we've been trained. And so there's no judgment in that. It's just, you know, learning how to not do that. And you know, it's breaking habits, and we all know how tricky that can be at times, but it takes that perseverance. Jacqueline says she loves the bat story, very mystical and magical. I know, but even that left me going, great, a bat. Okay, what does that mean? So, you know, again, it's we get a message and then we kind of have to kind of go away, connect back in and go, okay, translate that one for me. Because I don't speak animal signs. I normally have voices coming to me. But, you know, in my lowest moment, when I was probably quite shut down because I was just feeling really despondent, um, I think in the UK, somebody had just been arrested for a Facebook post, and I was just like, oh, lordy, lordy. Show me a sign of the light. But yeah, so even when I'm in my kind of darker moments, you know, the messages can't get through because I'm allowing that stuff to infiltrate and clutter my field. And I become deaf to the downloads and the messages. And so, you know, your universal self is just going to find a way to get through to you. And sometimes it will be a slap in the face or a push down the stairs, as it was in my case. But yes, if we are open to that conversation, we don't need to experience those extreme nudges by spirit. Louise says, I took my mum for her vaccinations today, and once at home, I felt so tired and exhausted. I remember that flooding your energy with divine light can clear the dense energy. I did that and I felt I had much more energy. Yeah, absolutely. But one of the key things is, you know, knowing where you start and stop means that you're aware of your own field. And when you go into spaces where, you know, there can be a multitude of different energies going off, different emotions, people in different places and states of being emotionally and mentally, that in a way you're protected. And it's, I mean, I don't, it's kind of like if you think you have to be protected, then it's like, you know, you're attracting things that you need to protect yourself from. But you won't go out in the rainstorm without an umbrella or a raincoat. We don't live in a perfect world. Like I say, the majority of people have no idea that we're energetic beings and are just throwing everything out into the collective field. And so, you know, when you know you're going into those spaces, or you know that you're going into a difficult situation, you know, just holding yourself solid. You know, these are my boundaries. This is where I start and stop. Nothing that I don't want to enter my field can enter my field. You know, in that way, because it's like a moth to a flame. when people are in a low place, desperate, in despair, something's happening, and you're shining your light really brightly because of the work you've been doing, they'll go, wow, fantastic, and want to plug in. And if your boundaries are not secure, and again, there's no judgment, we've all done it. They can plug in and you come away feeling drained and they go away feeling great, uplifted. And if you're wanting to do that consciously, again, there's no problem. But this is about being master, is about being conscious, knowing what it is that's happening within and around you, and deciding, choosing consciously, is this in alignment for you in this moment? When my dad had he was diagnosed with cancer. It was very, very late on, it was terminal. But for the 6 months that he had left of his life, I spoke to him every single day. And I knew that he was going to dump on me. And I was okay with that because I knew I could take it. And I wanted to give him a bit of peace. So, I was like, I'm okay. I've got a pretty clean field. So I'm going to let him offload onto me for an hour each night. He goes and has a good night's sleep. I can clear it. Job done. And so that's, it was a conscious choice to do that. But a lot of this happens because we're completely unconscious about it. Jenny says, a bat flew by my face a couple of nights ago. It was the first time, so that's neat. I was outside. Lovely. Oh, Jacqueline says she sees bats here at Redwood Forest when you walk and meditate with nature, or when I ask for signs. There you go. So then again, it's like looking into what is this sign for me? And yes, it's great because there are a number of sites that you can go to and look up, what is the spirit animal? What does this message mean? But then do you resonate with that? Because that is a download that somebody else has received. So the good thing to practice is, go to that. If you're guided to read a certain book or website or something, and it resonates, fantastic. But get into the practice of, okay, does it resonate with me? Do I resonate with that information? What does it mean for me? What is the message for me? Because spirit will talk to us in imagery, spirit will talk to us in metaphor, and it's always for us. The message is for us. My truth may be different to your truth, but they're equal. So getting used to kind of dropping in, okay, this is my message. The bat came to me. I was thinking this thing. What is that symbolism for me? What does it mean? And just practice, just get into practicing that. We've got a couple of hands up, so I'm going to bring on, I'm going to go to Lou because she did have a hand up. Bless her, will hold the time. Hi, Lou, you've got permission to talk. You're muted at the minute. Are you there? Lou? No? Okay. We'll go to Cynthia. Cynthia had a hand up. Hi, Cynthia.
Hello, Louise. Actually, I just pressed that icon because I didn't know what would happen, and suddenly you're there. So
No,
yes,
there you
go. So, now you're there, and I haven't got a question. I didn't.
Would you know that's beautiful because again, it's that childlike curiosity. What happens if I do this? Well, now you know.
Oh, now I know. So thank you very much.
No problem. Okay. Right. Oh, sorry, I didn't realize I had my hand up. Oh, bless. Okay. So yeah, so the biggest thing is, by all means, if you're guided to go to a website, or sometimes angel cards or oracle cards or something, you pick up a card and it's got a message. Read the message, connect with the message. Does it resonate? Does it sit with you? Is there just one line of it that sits, or is the whole thing resonate with you? And if nothing of the words resonate at all, connect in with the imagery. What am I receiving? because we're receiving these transmissions all the time. So, so I was saying about we've been trained to live our life and experience our lives through what other people expect of us, and it's so easy to get tangled up with the attachments with other people. But, the human form is a social animal. And so, we are meant to interact with one another. And that is natural. But it's not our natural state to live our lives through others or to know ourselves as whole only when we're connected with another being, or only to know ourselves through what another person thinks or feels about us. It's important now more than ever that we walk between worlds, that we let go of everything that isn't us, all that isn't our journey, all that aren't our lessons and blessings. We let go of all the attachment to lower vibrational connection and associations with others, their journeys, and learn to stay in our own lane. And that can be really tricky when it's people that you love. That can be really tricky when it's your sons or your daughters or your parents or your family and friends. And that, sometimes it takes a bit of practice. And again, as we go through this, and, we may fall back into an automatic way of being, don't beat yourself up about it. It's like, okay, yeah, I can see what I did and how I played out that role or that usual interaction, but I'm going to choose to do it differently next time. There is many, many choices that my family have made that I wouldn't necessarily have chosen for them. And my go-to is that's their journey, and I send them all the love on their journey. And I know that their journey is the perfect journey for them. I mean, it's not that we separate ourselves entirely from people. We can assist them in their times of need, but it's the difference is not getting attached to their pain or their drama as part of your own or taking any responsibility for it. We are not here to fix or rescue anybody. That's actually really disempowering. You're basically saying, I'm a divine created being, but I don't see you as one. So no one can make you think or feel anything. You make the choice to be affected by another's words or actions or not. And that, in itself, is a big thing. That's a big part of this coming into mastery. When I was paralyzed in 96, I had a year of going through every interaction from early childhood all the way up and all of the mistakes that I'd made or the bad things that had happened to me. And I looked at my role in each and every one of them. And I forgave myself and I forgave everybody else in the situation because, I recognized that there were times when I said things and there were times when I didn't say things. There were times when I did things and there were times that I didn't do things. And so the situations and scenarios that played out, I had a part in. Now, again, this work is not done with judgment. There is absolutely no judgment in any of it when we are doing this radical, honest, radical responsibility work. We're coming at it with absolute love. So Jacqueline says she's been really paying attention to everything being a sign, like you said a few days ago. I've been really paying attention to everything being a sign. Yeah, it's about acceptance as much as we would like to heal them. We can't. No, absolutely. As much as, I mean, my journey with my dad, in my early 20s, I was begging him to let me assist him with healing, but he wasn't in that place. And even when he had the diagnosis with cancer, I was saying about all these things that we could do, and he wanted to go down the chemo route. That's his choice. That's his journey. That's the choice, that's the decision that he, and in alignment with his soul, was making. We have to let the choices of others go and know that there is a much bigger picture. And we might have no idea what that bigger picture is until we leave the incarnational space ourselves, but there is a much bigger picture. And so it is very hard. It's one of the toughest things that I've ever had to do. Um, and again, it's a learning journey. It's a learning piece. Michaela says it's great when we get to the place where we can see everything as an opportunity for learning. Absolutely. And it is. It is. It may be really uncomfortable. It may be really super painful to the egoic self, but it is an opportunity for learning everything. Louise says such deeply honest and beautiful words. Really resonating. I mean, I speak from the heart, and I often share parts of my journey just to, it's all very well and good hearing the kind of the download and the transmission, but sometimes the human bit needs to kind of go, yeah, but what does that mean in real life? What does that actually look like? And it can look quite difficult, painful, and a struggle at times, but again, as they say, Rome wasn't built in a day. And it is a journey for us all. Tara says, it may sound weird, but starting to think cancer, etc., gives us a way out instead of living years, possibly with dementia. Well, do you know, my dad was an incredibly angry person. A lot happened to him in his childhood, and he held a lot of anger. And I said to him in my 20s, if you don't allow yourself to let go of this, then it's going to eat away at you. And so everything starts energetically, everything starts in the unseen realm of our incarnational space, in our experiential space. And it works its way in. So if we let it fester in our field, it like a cancer will grow, and it becomes a physical symptom. Now, physical symptoms in and of themselves, to me, how I've been shown it by spirit, are red flags. It's your energetic body going, you've not listened on the spiritual level, you've not listened on the emotional level or the mental level. I need you to wake up and see me and hear me. So quite often, a number of modalities get you to actually talk to this part. And that's another part of this, getting to know your multidimensional self is, Spirit says, invite all aspects of you around the table. Every single aspect has a voice. Speak to them, listen to what they have to say. That bit of you that's really angry, that bit of you that's really fearful, that bit of you that's, hiding and just doesn't want to be seen. Allow them with love to come forward, speak to them. But yeah, I mean, there's many reasons that we get given opportunities to check out. I can't tell you the amount of near-death experiences I've had over my lifetime. And then there's been times when I've wanted to commit suicide, I've wanted to die because it's just been so hard and so heavy. That it's like, I got the message, nope, you're not done yet. You've got work to do, pull your big girl pants up and crack on. So again, we are given choice points. We are given choice points throughout our experience, and there's absolutely no judgment. I mean, my dad, attempted to take himself out a couple of times, and I said to him, no judgment, your decision is your decision. Yeah, I'm not living your life. I can't speak to where you're at. But if I can assist in any way, then I'm here. And that's all that we can do. We can hold space for people. But sometimes people have to get to the depths of their hole to find there's a ladder or there's a tunnel that you can come up and out the other side. And if we kind of try and go in before they're at that point of readiness to bring themselves out, again, we kind of get in the way of that healing process for themselves. This work is us empowering ourselves. And so it's about empowering everybody else around us as well. Yeah, dis-ease in the body will cause illness, absolutely. Michaela said she was in a lot of pain. It was quite a journey, uncomfortable and empowering to find my way to what that pain was showing me. Absolutely. Yeah, and taking painkillers whilst working through it. I've got another funny tale. I think it was November I think it was the 1111 Gateway in 2019. And Peter was speaking on the summit that I did about it. And oh my God, I was in such agony. It was hilarious, actually. I was banging SOS on the wall to my next door neighbors because I just couldn't move. I was in absolute agony. And I was talking to Spirit, and Spirit was saying, you've got to feel it to heal it. So I was like, okay, I'm going to feel it to heal it. I'm not going to take painkillers. I'm going to feel it to heal it. About 2 days later, I'm like, oh my God, I need to go to hospital. This is ridiculous. I was literally sleeping, sat at my dining table with my head on pillows because I couldn't move. And the paramedic came in and said, okay, we're going to take you to hospital. And I said, can I just ask what you're going to do when I get to hospital? Oh, well, we're going to dose you up with painkillers and just see how you are. And I was like, but I could do that here. And he was like, yeah. And so I talked to Spirit, and Spirit was like, yeah, like 2 days ago, we told you to feel it to heal it, but you then stopped communicating and you just listened to that message and that was it. It's like, you can take a painkiller now. And I literally took one paracetamol. It's like the mildest painkiller that you could ever take, and all the pain went. So again, we don't have to be in pain or suffering. It doesn't have to look a certain way when we're going through this journey. When we're clearing, it doesn't have to be lots of vomiting and crying and all sorts of things. We can just clear if we're ready to do that. But also we've got to keep checking in with ourselves, and we've got to keep checking in with Spirit, so we don't just listen to one message and just bulldoze our way down the path with that one message. It's like, okay, going in this direction, checking in, anything new, checking in. Because we create incredible experiences for ourselves just because we stop communicating with ourselves. Um, yeah, Petra saying her sister-in-law took her own life almost a year ago. She was such a lovely person, but people took all her energy and she lost her lust for life. Absolutely. Yeah. And again, it's very painful for people to experience that. But this kind of vampiric element of people draining our energy is something that we get to say yes to or no to. And when we are whole in our multidimensional self, and we've got our secure boundaries, then we know when people are trying to connect in with that way, and we are allowing ourselves to be whole within ourselves and to receive the power and the limitless energy flowing to us, through us, and from us, so that that doesn't happen. But again, everybody's journey is their own. And some people just aren't ready in this lifetime to kind of do this work, to step into their sovereignty. Okay, so when you know yourself as a multidimensional being, um, what does that look like? There are no aspects of you that are unknown to you. No aspects that you fear may be expressed, no aspects within that are ignored or shunned or judged. All aspects are honored equally. You know that you're an eternal being experiencing a physical incarnation rather than a physical person having some spiritual experiences. And you know that you've experienced many other physical incarnations as well. You know that you are an aspect of the all that is, and that you extend far beyond the vibrational spectrum of your incarnational light body. That is, and that everything is all energy, just vibrating at different rates. And in that, energy never dies. It merely changes form and structure. So we may leave this physical experience, but we do not die. But we are eternal, and we transition and move into a different form, and at times choose to come back into another physical expression. You also know that in each incarnation that has gone before, you've played every role that there is, just like an actor stepping onto a stage, and that these roles do not define your identity. And that in knowing that you have played all of these roles, in some lifetimes good, in some lifetimes bad, so-called, that the capacity to express your power is a conscious choice. And therefore, with that awareness of your multidimensional self comes this great responsibility. And that's why we need to be radically honest with ourselves. But with it also comes great love and compassion for those players and yourself that we may be experiencing in this physical landscape that we deem are currently playing the bad roles, because that has been us in previous lifetimes. And maybe, like David was saying, that we're triggered by certain people's presentations and expressions because we've played a similar role. Now, one of the key ways of releasing within ourselves the things that are triggering us is to kind of recognize that just as we're a mirror to everybody else, the world is a mirror to us. And so if we're seeing something that's triggering us, it's going, oh, that's interesting. Where does that lie within me? And it's not that it looks exactly the same, but it's the frequency or the vibration, or, like dishonesty was a big thing for me. And I was always like, but I'm really honest, why am I being triggered by dishonesty? And it was because I was leading this double life. By day I was a senior manager in the NHS, and by night I was a spiritual healer, and I wasn't being my whole self in each moment, which case I was being dishonest. I was being dishonest in those moments when I was only being the NHS manager. And so it's not, you may be triggered by something, but it doesn't mean, you may be triggered by a murderer, but it doesn't make you an axe-wielding murderer. It's like, okay, where is that frequency? And where can I acknowledge that either in this lifetime, I am, having some of that energy, frequency flowing through my experience, or in a previous lifetime. Because in a previous lifetime, as with David was saying about the stellar nations and the fallen dragons and everything, we all have a fallen aspect. And when you have your Antares code, you can kind of see and go, oh, yeah, I really resonate with that story. And I knew for a long time, because I've worked with dragons my whole life, that in my dragon form in previous lifetimes, I have been a destroyer of worlds. I have that energy. I know how power can what's that word, make you do naughty things, influence you badly, I don't know. But also, with great power you can do great destruction, but with great power you can do great good. And it's about knowing and acknowledging, but not being fearful of stepping into your power because you might do this bad thing just because in like 9, 10 lifetimes ago you did. You're in this lifetime now, and when you're conscious, you're consciously making a choice how to behave and where to behave from on that timeline, on that spectrum. So don't be fearful of standing in your power just because, something that you get to forgive for yourself, that you played a role on a stage 10 lifetimes ago that was a bit nefarious. It doesn't define who you are. It's not who you are. It was an experience, it was a role, and there was a reason behind why you were playing that role at that time. Because with multidimensionality comes the awareness that we're all playing roles as part of a much bigger picture. And whilst we're in the physical form, we may not see that larger picture, and we may not fully understand our role within it. But from the multidimensional spectrum, we are aware that the bigger picture exists. And it gives you that distance. It lets you step back from, oh God, this past life I was really, yes, so what? We all were, we've all been that. And so, allowing yourself to just love it and let it go. It is what it is, and it's been what it's been. So there's love and compassion and zero judgment for those aspects of ourselves, those parts of our divine blueprint that hold the memory of those roles that we've played. And equally, it enables us to lessen the judgment and strengthen our ability to radiate love and compassion to those so-called bad players that we may see on the physical stage in this incarnation. And that was also something that David was alluding to in his journey as well. So becoming master of our multidimensional field enables us to let go of those emotions, those mental constructs that can really hold us back from remaining centered within ourselves. because being in that conscious awareness of ourselves as multidimensional beings means that we are centered within ourselves, centered within our own truth. And we also know what our truth is in this incarnation because we've made that connection through our central column as a clear and perfect channel to who we are, what our truth is in this incarnational spectrum. And we also have access to the collective wisdom and experience of our eternal soul through that dimensional spectrum that exists beyond the incarnational form. So as we clear our field and reduce the clutter that spreads across all the vibrational aspects of us, emotional, mental, spiritual body, physical body, and when we release and let go of the lower vibrational cords and attachments and ground into the higher vibrational fields of consciousness that are held within the planetary consciousness, we're able to connect in with the truth of who we are in this moment, in this physical expression of our own consciousness. And then we're able to discern the energies that we are being bombarded with. And through, conversations with friends, experiences of work, things that we might see on the TV, all of the energies from the stars, we're able to remain centered within our truth. And with so much misinformation, disinformation, censorship at this time, it's absolutely key that we're able to discern what the truth is to us. And the importance of my truth may be different to yours, but it has equal standing is really key at this time. Because it's only when we're connected fully into our truth and know the power that we hold within ourselves that our truth, power, gifts, and talents, they don't lie outside of us, that we're able to walk through this between worlds moment that we're experiencing in alignment with our golden thread, or as David calls it, the silver thread, and encode the new earth template, which is an alignment with our truth, and encode ourselves into the new earth template and thus ground ourselves into those timelines. As we do one thing, we do all things. So allowing ourselves to come into conscious expression of our truth automatically codes us into those new earth higher vibrational timelines that are being burst into physicality at this time. It's, like that saying, be the change you want to see in the world. And that's exactly what this is about. And that's why it's so key for us to come into our sovereign state as a multidimensional divine sovereign being. We can start teaching the little kids about energy. Absolutely. Do you know what? I'm a qualified teacher. And one of the things that, I kind of am bringing into manifestation is a space where it's a healing community education center, because it's to me it's fundamental. We need to be reversing this false education, and really empowering children to be who they truly are from a very early age. Corruption, that was the word. Yes, it was very empowering bringing your disregarded and scary parts back. It helped to reclaim those parts. Absolutely. And from a shamanic perspective, it's like soul reclamation, soul retrieval, power animal retrieval. We are bringing these aspects that have been pushed aside or hidden, repressed, suppressed, bringing them back into the whole, bringing them back into the light of the heart. It sounds amazing to bring this work to children. Absolutely. I mean, I've got 2 grandchildren now. So yeah, I'm showing them how to be them and loving them. And that's actually one of the things that I love about my dogs. And this may sound really bizarre, but one of my dogs, from a human perspective, is an absolute nightmare. From a spiritual perspective, is a godsend. He is pure spirit incarnated. He knows who he is. He doesn't care whether you like it or not. And I love it. I absolutely love it. That's what brings me joy. Seeing him be him. And if we're walking in the woods and he sees a squirrel, or if he gets a scent, he's like, he's off. Doesn't matter if I've got a client call in 10 minutes and I need him to get back in the car. He's doing his own thing. He's living his perfect life. And there's the human aspect that's like, oh my God. And then there's the spiritual aspect that's like, go girl. I mean, go man. It's just like, but it's beautiful and perfect. And in a way, that's what being multidimensional is. You'll have all of these different voices kind of like having these conversations within yourself. Like my little ego human self was like, oh, 10 minutes and I've got a client call. I've got to get you home. My spiritual self is like, that's fantastic. You go, you do your thing. So again, listening to those voices and in the moment, getting a feel for which one resonates at this time. And it's not always going to be your higher self. Sometimes it's going to be the ego self that's got, yeah, come on, we've got to get in the car now. Or, actually, we've got to get up and go to work. But it's doing it consciously. It's doing it from that state of conscious awareness. You bet I'm a super cool grandma. Yeah, showing them crystals and all the wonders of the world. Absolutely. I'm knitting them jumpers with love encoded into them at the minute. But yeah, no, I can't wait for them to get a little bit older. They're coming up to one, and the other one will be two in a week. So yeah, beautiful, absolutely beautiful souls. And that's the other thing, the dome that I was talking about is gone. And so much higher vibrational beings of light are able to incarnate, and that's what the children are. And so, for me, this work is key that we really straddle these two worlds and draw that new earth template into being and with as much speed as possible so that these beautiful souls that are coming into incarnation don't have to go through the rigmarole and the trauma at times of living in the old paradigm physical landscape. They can kind of just step beautifully across into these new earth templates. Yeah, Petra says that's what she loves about animals as well. They are themselves. Absolutely. If you want to know how being a multidimensional being and in alignment with your truth looks like, look at an animal. An animal is what it is. And they all have personalities and they will show you. I'm aware of the time and I wanted to do an activation or a bit of healing clearing work. So how are you all doing? Would you like that? I was going to say radio silence. Yeah, okay, okay. Right, cool. All right then. Okay. So I'm not entirely sure when we're going to go with this. Probably to clear out some clutter. Ah, and get rid of some lower vibrational attachments coming into the center of your own being. Okay. So just allowing yourselves to be comfortable in the space that you're in. Allowing your eyes to gently close and allowing your awareness to drop. We close our eyes so that we can see more clearly. We connect into the unseen realms, the unseen aspects of our own being, and acknowledge the all that we are, not just the physical, but a beautiful, radiant being of light, sound, and vibration that extends far beyond the physical form. And so as you allow your awareness to drop, holding that knowing that you are a divine, radiant being of light and love who has come to have this physical experience at this time to bring through and encode into the new earth templates that already exist around us with all the beautiful work that has gone before us, to encode them with divine love, divine light, divine joy, divine freedom. And as you allow that awareness to sink into your heart field, coming out from your head, leaving any thoughts, any worries and fears, landing softly in your heart space and allowing those codes of divine love, light, joy, freedom, peace to fully transfer down from the all that is, the all that you are, through your pure, clear central column into your heart field. And whilst we are doing the clearing of the outer aspects of your field throughout the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual bodies, all of the layers of frequency that make up your incarnated form, allowing those codes of love, light, joy, freedom, and peace to continue to expand and unfold inside your heart field, inside the toroidal space that is your heart field. As we call in each of your healing teams, the divine beings of love and light, that you are beyond the physical spectrum, that exist beyond the 3D, 4D timelines, that live and exist in unity consciousness, collective consciousness. And they're coming in to each and every one of you, your own individualized team of healers, of guides, of allies, bringing with them the transmission, the download, the wisdom, the healing that you need in this moment, individual to you, for you are divine spark, individuated divine spark of light of the all that is. Who has chosen to come into this beautiful, beautiful physical experience. So you may feel, see, sense, know their presence within your field as they create the perfect container of light around your field. That container of light will be a different shape, form for each and every one of you. Just allow yourself to connect in. And as the outermost edge of that container is made with divine photonic white light, it is now being filled with the pure light of the source field. And that pure light is flooding into that container, spreading out throughout, clearing, cleansing, realigning the external space around you to the frequency and vibration and encodements of your own incarnated light body. And allowing that energy of pure source field, pure source love, light, compassion, to move across through the barrier that is your outermost aspect of your auric field, moving into the incarnated spectrum. And again, beginning the process of decluttering, clearing, cleansing, as your healing team begin to move throughout your field, stripping clear all that no longer serves you, throughout each of the many different layers of frequency that make up your incarnational form. And as this density, these lower vibrational thought forms, emotions, attitudes, expectations, blocks, attachments, as they are being cleared and removed, we command that all lower vibrational energies, thought forms, devices, crystalline structures, anything and everything that may be cluttering your field, maybe bringing distortion, dis-ease within your field, blocking the flow, blocking your connection to the all that is, the all that you are. Command they must leave now, for you are the sovereign being, divine creator being, and you claim sovereignty of your own field. And so shall it be, and so it is. As your healing team work to remove anything and everything from your field that is not in alignment with your true purpose, clearing the path for you to fulfill your mission and purpose in this lifetime, coming into harmony and balance and alignment with your truth, your power, so that you may radiate your light out into the collective space and being the mirror of the divine codes of joy and light. And as the healing team work to clear your field of all that is not you, the holes, the spaces are being filled with the divine pure source light, which is immediately reharmonizing, recoding itself to your unique divine frequency, your unique divine harmonic. Just allow yourself to connect in with that frequency. You may see sights of different colors. You may see shapes, you may hear sounds, or just feel vibrations, just allowing yourself to connect in. Now your healing teams are moving to the attachments, the connections, the associations that you have established within your field. And they are beginning to clear and remove all lower vibrational connections and attachments, knowing that no healthy cord or attachment may be released, that only those that are not in service to you, that are not in your greatest and highest good, may be released and removed. Some of you may be aware of multiple threads leading off out of your field, connecting into different parts of your energy body. And you may have an awareness of the energy pouring into your field from these attachments. That energy spreading like dark veins as the energy tracks its way through the many different layers of your field. Just be aware of your healing team removing each and every one and clearing and cleansing the different transmission routes and those spaces being filled with your own divine harmonic frequency, restoring you back to balance and harmony. And as each of these threads, these cords and attachments are being cleared and removed, some may seem quite large, dense, and some may be quite ethereal. But in each case, as they are removed and returned back to their point of origin with the frequency of love, your field is being sealed. And as your central column is also being cleared of any clutter, any debris, any blocks, blocking, stopping, reducing the flow of the eternal light of the pure source field above and below. Your connection to the all that is, the all that you are, your truth, your light, your power. Your healing team ensure that you are removed, released from any low vibrational grounding cords, root systems connecting you into the lower vibrational old paradigm timelines, layers of energy that are moving away, and instead replacing you with beautiful cords of light into the new earth templates, the highest timelines within the planetary consciousness, the highest timelines that you are able to connect into based upon the vibrational structure of your individual field. And knowing this is a two-way flow of energy, as you ground into the new earth templates, they also encode you. Feeling your fields filling with light, feeling with the beautiful sound of your own divine harmonic. For some of you, the multiple strands of DNA are activating throughout your central column, again playing like harp strings, bringing chords of pure joy throughout your field. Allowing that energy to spread out to the outermost aspect of your field of light. And for each and every one of you, your healing team is just creating a mirror-like surface on the outermost aspect of your field, a reflective surface. This will not stop or block any energy from entering your field that is in the highest and greatest good, but will reflect away the extraneous vibrations that surround you as we traverse through these times that are not in your highest and greatest good. And so for now, allowing your awareness to come back into your heart field, this expanded toroidal field, now full of divine love, light, joy, freedom, and codes of peace. And as they merge together, forming a bright cord of light, like a beam, a laser beam, pouring forth from your heart field. Frequencies of divine grace, pouring out through this laser focused beam of light coming from your heart field, touching the outermost aspect of your energetic light body, spreading out 360 degrees around you. Again, creating, as it were, a barrier, but also allowing you to radiate these frequencies throughout the entirety of the outermost aspect of your field of light. A golden cord of light is coming from your upper abdomen, your will center, your divine will and egoic will, blended and merged in beautiful harmony together. And this energy is mixing now with this beam of light from your heart center, pouring forth your combined egoic and divine will in with these frequencies. And bringing that combined egoic divine will in conjunction with these frequencies into the outermost aspect of your auric field. So that whatever frequencies touch the outermost aspect of your field, you will be consciously aware. And you will know if somebody is trying to gain access. There is no judgment. It may be something that you have played a role and interaction in your everyday life and is quite normal. But this will give you the opportunity to choose. Do I wish this interaction to continue in this way? Or do I maintain the sovereignty of my field? It is your choice, as with all things. And for now, in this moment, we give thanks to your healing team as we allow them to step back, but know that you can connect in with them at any time. They are aspects of you beyond the incarnated light body. And you can call upon them for healing, for guidance, for support. But for now, they step back. The container of light remains around you, holding this harmonized frequency within your internal and external structures, within the space that you're in. Allow yourself once more to become aware of your heart field. Now becoming aware of the energy flowing to you, through you, from you as your breath. Breathing in, feeling the energy expand within your heart field, within your chest, within your stomach, and releasing as you exhale. Again, with the awareness of the energy that you are radiating out into the collective consciousness, the collective field. And from this point on, becoming more aware of the energy that you are radiating out. Managing your energy field as a multidimensional being is not just about what you're allowing yourself to ingest, to inhale, to absorb, but what you are radiating out into the collective field of light. For when we have awareness, it is the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, the opportunity to choose a different path. Awareness is a time of rejoicing. For without awareness, we cannot make changes. So now bringing your awareness to your physical body, allowing your muscles to move, to stretch, the energy to flow to your fingers, your toes. And when you're ready, only when you're ready, allowing your eyes to open and coming back into the space that you're in. How is everybody? Yeah, it's it's always important to check in, a bit like when I didn't check in about not taking any painkillers. It's always important to keep checking in that we're not rooted and grounded into the old paradigm, the old earth templates. Because as they begin to fall away or they suddenly shift, then again we can find ourselves a bit lost at sea, trying to, frantically anchor ourselves into something else. So it's always good to have that intention. I'm rooting into the new earth templates. I'm rooting into the highest vibrational timelines, the highest vibrations that the planetary consciousness can hold in the physical unseen realm. Ah, my pleasure, Tara. Tara's saying thank you for the summit and the beautiful community. You are all the beautiful community. Kathleen says, wonderful. Mystic Merlin says, Phoenix rising, wowzers, excellent. Linda says, so lovely. Louise, that was beautiful. Thank you so much. My dog came over and sat beside me to receive the energy. They know, honestly, animals know. Whenever I used to do client work and I'd go to their houses, if they had animals, cats and dogs, they would always gravitate in. Maria says she's been traveling through a tunnel that had a shape of a heart in a warm reddish yellowish colours with a dragon and other animals. Excellent. Lou says you can feel the energy moving. Fantastic. Sandra's ready to take a nap. Absolutely. That's exactly what I was going to say. Honor yourselves in this moment. We all receive energy work in a different way. Be guided as to what to eat, what to drink, whether to sleep, whether you feel energized, just feel into what do I need in this moment? What does my body need to integrate these energies? And yeah, honor that for yourselves. So that is it for my call. Thank you so much for everybody who joined. Thank you so much for connecting in, being so vocal in the chat. I love it. With the interaction. And certainly I'm a conscious channel and I'm a responder. So often spirit responds with questions. So that's always helpful for me in that way. Thank you so much, everybody who showed up on the live call. And thank you to everybody who connects in on the replay. Just to remind you, I have the special offer. I put the activation that I did on Nora's initial interview where she couldn't make it. That's up on the free gifts page. I put that down there so you can access that. I think it's audio only on that one. But for my special offer, I'm doing a reduced price for my 60-minute personal healing and guidance session. As I say, I'm a conscious channel, so if you come with queries and questions, Spirit will answer through me. But quite often it involves like a healing or an activation of some kind, depending on where you are and what you're needing in that moment. Obviously, you also receive the audio recording so that you have the information to refer back to. So that's reduced price of $111. And then package B is the Mastering Your Energy Field 4-part live webinar series. Just to go more into what I've been speaking to this session, the importance of an awareness of yourself as more than your physical form, and channeled guidance on how to manage your energy field, how to clear your field, release the attachments, and also to do some live activation work as well in terms of clearing and releasing. In these times, it's really important to be your own lighthouse and to learn the energetic structure of your light body. learn and practice different techniques to clear, balance, align, and ground your field. So yeah, so I look forward to, however many people feel drawn to connecting in with that. That is $200, but it's a saving of about $450. So yeah, I do like doing live webinars and things. You didn't get any replays. Should have got the emails for the replays. If you go on the replay page, and they're all on YouTube, I upload them onto YouTube, I upload them onto SoundCloud, but on the replay page, so mundanetoMagicalLiving.com, https mundanetoMagicalLiving.com /replays, they're all on that page. But you should receive an email after each live event that has the button to press to access the replay. But as I say, they're all on the YouTube channel, Lou Matson YouTube channel, and they're on my SoundCloud channel as well in the audio form. So yeah, I don't understand why you wouldn't have got those. Anyway, I'm going to let you all go because I am aware of the time and I've got to tidy up this edited version of the video, although it is live streaming, so that will be available as soon as this is finished. So I'm going to wish you all so much love, so much joy, light and serenity. And as we transition in this kind of between worlds phase, drawing closer, ever closer to us into physicality, the New Earth templates. So much love to you all. Take care, everybody. And hopefully I will connect with more of you again on Nora's live call on Wednesday the 16th, and that is at the same time of 10 o'clock PST, 1 o'clock EST, 6 o'clock BST. Love you all. Take care, everybody. So much love. Bye. Oh, stop recording.